Important message. Leg cramps can strike at any time, during sleep, while walking, or even just sitting. In the United States, millions of adults complain about sudden, sharp pain in their legs that feels like the muscles are twisting or tightening. If this sounds familiar, then you need to hear this, because what you eat might be the one thing that could stop the suffering. These 7 foods could literally save your legs from those excruciating cramps, and some of them are probably already in your kitchen. One of the most overlooked causes of chronic leg cramps is low potassium, and bananas are one of the richest natural sources of this essential mineral. In the United States, potassium deficiency is widespread, especially among people who consume a lot of processed food or who follow low-carb or ketogenic diets that restrict fruits. A medium banana contains around 420 milligallons of potassium, which supports the nerves and muscles in the lower extremities. Without enough potassium, your muscles can contract involuntarily, leading to cramps that last for minutes and sometimes longer. These cramps can happen at night and jerk people awake with agonizing pain, especially those over 50. In the United Kingdom and Canada, doctors often recommend bananas to patients with heart arrhythmias and muscle weakness, but they rarely emphasize its effect on preventing nighttime leg cramps. A woman from Florida shared that after starting to eat 2 bananas a day, her years-long nightly leg cramps completely disappeared. Could it be that simple? For some, yes. Another powerful food is avocado. This fruit is dense in potassium, magnesium, and healthy fats. Half of one avocado delivers more than 700 milligrams of potassium, which is more than a banana. Magnesium is essential for muscle relaxation and nerve transmission. In Canada and Australia, magnesium supplements are among the most commonly used natural remedies for cramps. But the food source of magnesium is much more efficient and easier for the body to absorb. People living in hot climates like Texas or Arizona lose a lot of electrolytes through sweat, especially if they're active outdoors, and that creates a perfect storm for muscle contractions and spasms. Avocados help restore those electrolytes while also fueling the body with heart-healthy monounsaturated fats, which are essential for reducing inflammation in the vascular system. Cramping isn't always about nerves. It can also stem from poor circulation. If the arteries and blood vessels that serve the leg muscles are narrowed or inflamed, oxygen cannot reach the tissues properly, which can cause severe tightness and pain. Avocados may help open up these vessels due to their content of oleic acid, which improves endothelial function. Sweet potatoes deserve a place on this list, not only for their potassium content, but also for their vitamin C and beta-carotene, which have a protective effect on the muscles and connective tissue. Sweet potatoes contain over 500 milliliters of potassium per medium serving and are also rich in complex carbohydrates, which replenish glycogen stores and prevent muscle fatigue. In the United States, many dietitians overlook the carbohydrate connection to leg cramps. When muscles are depleted of glucose after long-term dieting, fasting, or over-exercising, cramps become more likely. Sweet potatoes help prevent that. They're also rich in manganese, which plays a key role in collagen production and tissue recovery. Many people who experience leg cramps after running or hiking in the mountains of California or the Rockies in Canada may actually be dealing with micro tears in the muscle fibers that spasm during repair. Eating sweet potatoes post-exercise may reduce that chance dramatically. Watermelon is another highly effective food when it comes to preventing leg cramps, especially those caused by dehydration. Watermelon is more than 90% water, but it also contains a rare amino acid called L-citrulline, which boosts nitric oxide levels in the blood, promoting better circulation to the legs. In the United States, A clinical study at the University of Arkansas found that athletes who consumed watermelon juice before strenuous physical activity reported significantly fewer cramps and muscle soreness afterward. This is because L-citrulline helps relax blood vessels and supports better oxygen delivery to the tissues. On hot summer days in Florida or Texas, or during intense indoor workouts, water loss through sweat can quickly lead to electrolyte imbalance and vascular constriction. That's a setup for a cramp. Adding watermelon to your diet can help counter this. It also contains magnesium and some potassium, offering an electrolyte punch along with hydration. People often think cramps are only about calcium or magnesium, but in reality, circulation plays a critical role too. Poor circulation, whether from dehydration or vascular problems, is one of the most ignored reasons behind chronic leg cramps. Leafy greens like spinach and Swiss chard are loaded with magnesium, calcium, potassium, and iron. They're a nutrient powerhouse for people struggling with cramps. In the United States, the average adult consumes far less magnesium than the recommended daily amount of 420 mg for men and 320 mg for women. Magnesium works like a natural muscle relaxer by blocking calcium from entering the muscle cells too quickly, which prevents the muscle from overcontracting. Without enough magnesium, calcium floods the cells, and the result is that painful locking up we feel during a cramp. Swiss chard contains nearly 150 mg of magnesium per cooked cup, and spinach has about the same. These vegetables are often included in heart-healthy meal plans in Canada and the United Kingdom for good reason. They improve vascular tone and muscular resilience. They also offer vitamin K, which helps with blood clotting and vessel elasticity. For older adults, especially in the United States where blood pressure medications like diuretics are widely prescribed, magnesium and potassium loss becomes a serious issue. These leafy greens can help replenish those minerals naturally. People who are constantly feeling fatigue or tightness in their calves may not realize they are magnesium deficient until they end up in the emergency room with severe cramps. Coconut water is nature's electrolyte drink. Unlike sports drinks that contain artificial colors and sugars, coconut water is filled with potassium, sodium, calcium, and magnesium. In Australia and the United Kingdom, coconut water is increasingly used by athletes and those recovering from surgery or illness to rehydrate efficiently. A single cup of coconut water contains over 600 mg of potassium, making it more effective than most potassium supplements. But what makes coconut water especially valuable is the sodium-magnesium balance it offers, which helps maintain nerve impulses and muscle contractions. In humid environments like Louisiana or Florida, or during intense workouts, sodium is lost through sweat, and replacing it is essential. People on low-sodium diets, often advised in the United States due to hypertension concerns, may be unintentionally triggering cramps from sodium deficiency. Coconut water offers a safer, natural way to restore it without the cardiovascular risk of processed table salt. Some patients who suffer from chronic night cramps reported complete relief within a week of adding 1 glass of coconut water each evening to their diet. That's because the electrolytes support nighttime muscle relaxation and restore the depleted reserves. Salmon is another food that directly supports muscle health and circulation. It's rich in omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D, and high-quality protein, all of which reduce inflammation and support nerve signaling. In the United States, vitamin D deficiency is nearly epidemic, especially among older adults and those with darker skin. Vitamin D is crucial for calcium metabolism, and without it, calcium doesn't enter the bones or muscles effectively, which can lead to spasms and cramps. Omega-3s reduce muscle stiffness and improve blood flow, helping the arteries stay flexible and deliver nutrients more efficiently. This is especially important for people with peripheral artery disease or diabetes, where blood flow to the legs is compromised. People living in colder climates like Michigan, upstate New York, or Canada may go months without sufficient sunlight, and without supplementation or vitamin D-rich foods like salmon, their muscle and vascular systems suffer. Studies have shown that omega-3s can also reduce exercise-induced muscle damage and soreness. Salmon also contains magnesium and B vitamins that assist in energy metabolism and nerve function. Some veterans in the United States have shared how switching from processed protein sources to wild-caught salmon improved their circulation and eliminated recurring calf cramps that had plagued them for years. Pickle juice is one of the most surprising yet effective remedies for stopping leg cramps immediately. In the United States, athletic trainers have been using pickle juice for decades to treat muscle cramps on the field. It works fast, sometimes within 60 seconds. The mechanism isn't just about electrolytes. It appears that the vinegar in the pickle juice triggers a nerve reflex in the mouth and throat that stops the cramp by disrupting the misfiring signals between the nerves and muscles. In cases where magnesium or potassium aren't the root issue, but rather nerve overstimulation or dehydration, pickle juice acts almost like a circuit breaker. For people suffering from nighttime leg cramps, a tablespoon of pickle juice kept on the nightstand has helped them stop the cramp before it fully develops. However, this isn't suitable for those on strict sodium-restricted diets, as the sodium content is extremely high. Still, for athletes, laborers, or anyone who sweats heavily and is prone to sudden, intense cramps, especially those working outdoors in the southern United States, pickle juice may offer near-instant relief. In Australia and parts of Canada, sports teams have adopted this practice too, keeping small bottles in their emergency kits. The tangy taste isn't for everyone, but when you're in that level of pain, relief matters more than flavor. Calcium plays a massive role in the process of muscle contraction and relaxation, yet most people in the United States don't realize that a mild calcium deficiency can be behind their leg cramps. One of the best sources of highly absorbable calcium is Greek yogurt. Unlike some dairy products that are overly processed or low in fat, full-fat plain Greek yogurt contains calcium, potassium, magnesium, protein, and probiotics all in one. A single 6-ounce serving can deliver up to 20% of your daily calcium needs. Calcium helps nerve cells transmit signals to the muscles, and if calcium is not available in adequate amounts, those signals can become erratic, which can lead to spasms and cramps, especially in the calves and thighs. This is especially common in pregnant women, older adults, and people using certain medications like proton pump inhibitors or corticosteroids that reduce calcium absorption. In the United Kingdom and Canada, many patients report muscle twitching and nighttime cramps after being on these medications for extended periods. Greek yogurt also provides casein protein, which digests slowly and supports muscle repair during sleep. In the U.S., some doctors recommend taking calcium supplements, but the body doesn't absorb these nearly as well as food-based calcium, and excessive supplementation may even increase the risk of kidney stones or arterial calcification. Greek yogurt also has natural probiotics which improve gut absorption of minerals, including magnesium and calcium. In cases where people have eliminated dairy due to lactose intolerance, choosing a lactose-free Greek yogurt can still provide the necessary nutrients without triggering digestive issues. Pumpkin seeds are one of the most concentrated sources of magnesium, zinc, and healthy fats. Just 1 ounce provides nearly 40% of the recommended daily intake of magnesium. For individuals living in the United States where ultra-processed foods dominate the standard diet, magnesium deficiency is a hidden epidemic. Fast food, canned meals, and frozen dinners strip the body of this essential mineral while providing none in return. Muscle cells require magnesium to relax, and when magnesium is insufficient, the muscle stays contracted, causing that painful cramp. People who work in high-stress jobs or suffer from anxiety are especially vulnerable because stress hormones like cortisol cause magnesium loss through urine. A truck driver from Oklahoma shared how he was getting constant cramps in his hamstrings while driving long hauls. After adding a handful of pumpkin seeds to his daily snack routine, his cramps disappeared within days. That's how fast this mineral can make a difference. Zinc found in pumpkin seeds also supports muscle recovery and immune function, and the plant-based omega-3s contribute to better circulation. People in Canada and Australia have begun turning to pumpkin seeds as a natural magnesium booster, and nutritionists recommend roasting them lightly to preserve their nutrient content. Including them in salads, yogurt, or just eating them raw can provide ongoing protection against painful nighttime or post-exercise cramps. Dark chocolate, particularly those with over 70% cocoa content, is an unexpected but potent weapon against leg cramps. It contains a rare combination of magnesium, iron, and flavonoids that improve muscle oxygenation and nerve health. In the United States, people tend to think of chocolate as a guilty pleasure, but when chosen wisely, it can serve as a medicinal food. A 100-gram bar of dark chocolate can contain up to 230 milliliters of magnesium. The flavonoids in cocoa increase nitric oxide production, helping dilate blood vessels and improve circulation to the extremities, including the legs. This is critical for those who suffer from peripheral artery disease or diabetic neuropathy, where oxygen doesn't reach the tissues efficiently. Iron supports hemoglobin production, which allows blood to carry oxygen effectively. A deficiency in iron, even a mild one, can cause muscle fatigue, tension, and cramps. Many women in the United States experience menstrual-related iron depletion, which leads to cramping not only in the abdomen, but also in the legs. People who follow vegan or vegetarian diets in Australia and the UK often rely on dark chocolate as a treat that also replenishes critical nutrients. A man from Ohio who experienced chronic cramps after switching to a low-meat diet started eating 2 small squares of 85% dark chocolate per day and reported a noticeable improvement in leg pain within 1 week. However, the sugar content of chocolate should always be monitored, as refined sugar can increase inflammation and deplete minerals. Choosing unsweetened or low-sugar options ensures you get the muscle-relaxing benefits without the downside. Oranges and citrus fruits might not be the first thing people think of when it comes to leg cramps, but they are essential for maintaining proper hydration and electrolyte balance. Vitamin C doesn't just support the immune system, it helps build collagen and connective tissue, which surround and support muscles. Weak or damaged connective tissue can increase the risk of spasms. Oranges are also a natural source of potassium and calcium and provide simple sugars that help fuel the muscle. During or after physical activity, especially in hot areas like Southern California or Florida, the body loses vital fluids through sweat, leading to dehydration-based cramps. The natural sugars in orange juice allow faster absorption of sodium and water in the intestines, which helps rehydrate the body more effectively than water alone. That's why sports drinks often mimic the electrolyte sugar combination found in orange juice. In Canada and the United Kingdom, healthcare providers working with elderly patients recommend orange slices or citrus-infused water to help prevent nighttime dehydration and associated cramps. In one case, an elderly woman in Nevada who kept waking up from severe calf cramps was advised by a nurse to drink half a glass of fresh orange juice before bed. Her cramps reduced significantly after just 3 days. The antioxidants in citrus fruits also protect against oxidative stress in muscle tissue, which contributes to fatigue and inflammation after exercise or prolonged physical strain. Almonds are another top-tier food for fighting leg cramps. They contain magnesium, potassium, calcium, and vitamin E. The vitamin E content is particularly important because it protects the vascular walls and ensures smooth blood flow, especially to the lower extremities. In the U.S., vitamin E deficiency is rare but more common among individuals with fat malabsorption issues, such as those with celiac disease or who have had gallbladder surgery. When vitamin E is low, oxidative stress increases inside blood vessels, leading to constriction, inflammation, and poor oxygenation of muscle fibers. Almonds are also a good source of plant-based protein and healthy fat, making them ideal for people following low-carb or diabetic-friendly diets. A physical therapist in Canada shared that many of her patients with recurring hamstring cramps saw improvement when they replaced sugary snacks with a small handful of almonds. This helped stabilize their blood sugar while delivering essential electrolytes. The magnesium in almonds works synergistically with vitamin E to protect muscle cells and nerves from overstimulation. In Australia and the United Kingdom, almond-based products like almond milk and almond butter have gained popularity not just for their flavor but also for their cramp-reducing potential. However, it is important to note that raw or lightly roasted almonds retain more nutrients than those that are heavily salted or sugar-coated. Beets and beetroot juice are phenomenal for increasing blood flow and reducing muscle fatigue, both of which contribute to leg cramps. Beets contain nitrates, which are converted by the body into nitric oxide, a compound that opens up blood vessels, lowers blood pressure, and enhances oxygen delivery. Athletes in the United States, especially runners and cyclists, often consume beet juice before competitions to increase endurance and reduce the risk of cramping. In one study, beet juice increased time to exhaustion in athletes by up to 16%, suggesting that it helps muscles function more efficiently. For the average person dealing with leg cramps, this means beets could support better oxygenation and reduce strain during everyday movement or long periods of standing or walking.